Hello everybody, we are just gonna jump right into week one of our Duffle Sew-along for 2024. I apologize for not sharing when I was going live because I just got back this weekend from vending for my very first time at the Garden of Quilts in Lehi, Utah, and it was awesome and exhausting. So if I look a little tired, that's why I'm very tired. But I'm so excited to jump in and do the Duffle Sew-along. So week one is all about collecting your supplies and cutting your patchwork if you're doing a patchwork version. We will be sending out an email later this afternoon for week one, and this is kind of the format we've decided to move forward with for this sew-along particularly. We're going to do a live on Monday mornings, and then we're going to download our live, and we're going to put it in the email when we send the email later in the day, because we want everybody to have all the information that they can have in the email. So if you haven't signed up for the Duffle Sew-along email, you go to the link in my bio, and there's a little Duffle Sew-along 2024 sign up. You can sign up there. That will get you on the email list for the Duffle Sew-along. What we're hoping also to do with these videos is put them on YouTube. And the reason why is because I know how difficult sometimes going back to Instagram lives are. When I'll put this in my feed, right? I'll save this video, but sometimes it's like you want to pause it or go back or reference or speed it up if we, like I speed everything up on like 1.5 speed. And you can't really do any of that on live. So we will put this video on YouTube so that you can go there if you want to like pause it, speed it up, if you don't have time to get through the whole video, you can click back on 10 minutes in or whatever. We're trying to keep the videos to 30 minutes each week, but of course, if you have questions, please ask your questions. So we're hoping to make this as easy as possible for you. I know that some people probably will be like, why is this video not formatted for YouTube? And it's because we're filming it for Instagram, and then we'll be putting it on YouTube. So I apologize that on YouTube it will be this way and not this way. But anyways, I'm really excited to jump in and just talk about week one. So we're just gonna get started. So collecting your supplies. So there are so many choice options and variations you can do when doing this duffel bag. And so we just wanted to talk about all the things, right? So you can do the duffel bag, the big one, in patchwork, or you could do it in one fabric. You could do the mini duffel in patchwork or one fabric. So those are options. So you can decide if you'd like to do the patchwork or the solid fabric, and either one of them works great. I've done them in both, and I love them both. I love the patchwork because it's great to use up scraps left over from quilt projects. And maybe some of you joined the swap, the square swap that Amanda from Rusted Silo was hosting. I can't wait to get my squares back because I'm going to maybe try and make that one as well. I also wanted to share a little bit about some of the updates that we did in the pattern. So if you hadn't heard, we did a little update to the pattern. And the reason that we did an update to the pattern was because I really wanted to include the carrying strap instructions in the pattern. So this, you can see, has a carrying strap on it. So both of the patterns now include those instructions in the pattern. If you have a previous version of the pattern, you can still find like the updates. There's a pattern corrections page on my website, and you can get the link to the tutorials for the carrying strap instructions, so you can still have access to all of the instructions. One other thing to note is that there was a slight fit adjustment that we made to the patchwork duffel, and that adjustment is listed on the website as well. And there were no size adjustments on the patchwork duffel mini. We just added the carrying strap instructions. So I just wanted to go over that. And if you are doing patchwork, one thing we did add to the patchwork duffel instructions is we made these patchwork pieces a little bit bigger on the sides for quilting. And then when you trim them down so that you can for sure get the piece the size you need. Because we all know that everything shrinks up a little bit when quilting. So I just wanted to note on that. So if you're doing a swap with a certain size square, you can cut out bigger ones, or you can just use them and just note that it may shrink up a little bit, but the pattern's pretty forgiving, so This particular one, I used 3.5-inch squares on the sides too. I didn't make them oversized and it worked just great. So anyways, just wanted to go over those things quickly. I wanted to share what fabrics I've chosen to do. I'm working a little bit ahead because we've been so busy that I didn't want to be behind for my own sew-along. So I have my fabric quilted already. This is the Oh Lucky Lucky tumbling block print coming from Ruby Star Society. It's not out yet, but it will be coming, and it's so darling. This is Alexia Ebig's collection, and it's seriously cute. So this is the canvas print, and I'm super happy with how it's looking. And we used a pantograph called Kapari on it, which is Leisha K's Alicia Farnsworth design. You can find that on the Panto shop if you're a long arm quilter and want to use this. It's such a fun one for bags. Anyway, so I have that already quilted, and then I have my fabric picked, my accent fabric, this cute little dot. So that's what that's going to be for my duffel bag that I'm making. I wanted to talk about using soft and stable versus using batting. So you can use batting and you can use soft and stable, and either one works. This bag is made with soft and stable. This bag is made with batting. So I wanted to show you. This is like a really floppy bag because I just used batting in it. But it's a great way to use up batting scraps, and I think that there's a place for a floppy duffel just as there is for a little bit more structured. So you can see this one like can fold really tightly. I like using it if I think I'm going to need an extra bag. I can just roll this up and throw it in when I'm traveling, and then I'll have extra bag space. Anyways, both of them are great. You just have to decide what you want, what you prefer as far as the structure and working with it. I find, that working with batting is just the same as working with soft and stable. I much prefer soft and stable, personally. It's just what I've used in bags for years and years, and I really love the soft and stable. I love sewing with it. It's really flexible and adjustable. So we will include more information on quilting next week. So this week, gathering supplies, just decide if you want soft and stable or batting. I lost my note sheet. Hold on. Okay. So you're deciding patchwork or solid fabric, you're deciding soft and stable or batting, and then as far as your handles go, you can decide to do like a decorative webbing or cover your handle strap. So that was one of the updates we also made in the instructions. We gave you more clarifying details on if you're using a decorative webbing, because I know they're popular now. They're popular. I like them too. It saves a little bit of time than covering. So this is one that is a solid cotton webbing. I have like 20 or so colors in my shop if you're interested in seeing if any of those will work for you. This is a bold stripe decorative webbing that I also have in my shop, which I love as well. So also just saves a little bit of time. So those are options. And then if you want to cover it with fabric, I used to just be such a fan of this because I love fabric. I love all of the prints, and I'm like, let's get more prints in this project. So this is a Polypro webbing that you can make a fabric tube and cover, and we'll go over that during our handles, like when we're doing some of our assembly in one of the other weeks. But I just wanted to show you that. So I actually already have made my carrying strap for my duffel, so I covered it with fabric. So you can see this is the fabric I used. So you just have to decide if you want a decorative webbing or fabric covered webbing. And both are great. This, like I said, takes a little bit more time, but it's a fun skill to learn, and I have all the tips for you when we do that week. And then I'm going to make sure that we got all of the other, like, supplies. So hardware, if you're doing the carrying strap, you can still choose to not do the carrying strap, right? This bag does not have the carrying strap, so this doesn't include any hardware. And then if you are going to do the carrying strap, you're going to want to get 2 triangle rings, 2 swivel hooks, and 1 strap adjuster. And we have about, I think, 7 colors of 1.5-inch strapping on our website. And we sell it by piece because I really want people to be able to get exactly what they need. And if you already have some leftovers from some other projects, then you can just add to it. So we are out of stock on a couple of colors. We sold out of a couple things over the weekend, but we'll be restocking as soon as we can. I'm sure there's other shops and suppliers that have hardware as well. We do have the Tula Pink 1.5 inch hardware, the Tula Pink Sally Tomato collab hardware that's really darling as well. Okay, so that's just the supplies, and then zippers. So you can use a 30-inch double slide zipper. The bag calls for a 30-inch double slide zipper. So I sell the by Annie double slide zippers. They're some of my favorites. They're YKK zippers, they're handbag zippers, so they've got the extra white zipper tape. I've never, in all the years using them, had one break. They're just very durable. My fabric wears out before my zipper does. So I love those zippers. And then we also are carrying the Sassafras Lane striped zipper tape, which I've really loved as well. It's just cute, adds a little detail to your project, and this tape comes in like 5 or 6 colors. We're out of stock on some of the colors, but we have more coming as well. But I love this. These do not come with the zipper pulls, so if you already have zipper pulls in your stash, then you can use those, or you can buy, we have some zipper pulls that we had at our show that will be added to the website as well. Lots of different options. This is one that is my favorite. I'm going to see if I can show you. We just got these. So these aren't on my website yet, but they will be shortly. But these are Sally Tomato Cherry zipper pulls, and they just turned out so, so cute. I love how they turned out. So those will be on the website hopefully today or tomorrow, depending on how quick we can get through all the things that we have going on at the moment. So yeah, so just decide, you can buy a 30-inch double slide or whatever zipper. There's lots of great sources for zippers out there. So just wanted to talk through that. Okay. And just so you know, I'm going to go through questions at the end. So I see that there are questions coming in. So thanks for asking questions. I'll be sure. I can't read them at the distance that I am from my camera. So I will go over your questions at the end. So feel free to keep asking them, and I'll answer them at the end. Okay. And then last thing I wanted to talk about was just some of my favorite notions for making bags. I forgot to grab my marking tools, but there are a few lines that you mark for placement. I really like the Clover chalk pen for that. I only recommend the white color. It's the only one I found that actually comes out. The colors aren't my favorite. So white, I have some of those in my shop. I love the Sew-Line Air Erasing pen. I love that pen. It's such a good one. The lines erase. So if you're using that for quilting lines, be sure to just quilt them right away, because they will disappear by the time you come back to your project. If you are doing covered handles with fabric, you will want to get a tube turner. These things are magic, magic, magic. And I've been carrying the Prim tube turners. There's Dritz tube turners. I've carried those before too. I like these because the Dritz had 3 in the package, and I never used the smallest size. So this is cheaper because there's only 2, and it's pink. So say yes to the pink tube turner. Anyways, so that's really helpful, and I'll be going over like the tips on using tube turners when we do handles. Okay, if you don't have a stiletto, this is my favorite by Annie stiletto and pressing tool. So I love using this end to press my seam open if I'm just like my binding seam or whatever sitting at my sewing machine, then I don't have to get up and go to my iron. This is super helpful when doing your bindings. I use it for lots of other things, but especially bag bindings. And then this is a stiletto protector that we also have. They're, gosh, I'm not going to remember what the name of them are, but we use them as stiletto protectors. So my kids are down in my space a lot, and I don't want them to get hurt. So we have those in our shop as well. And then Wonder Clips. Oh, I just threw that. Wonder Clips are your friend on this project. When you're sewing with like the Soft and Stable and you're putting layers together, it's not so easy to pin the layers together because your pins will bend. The Wonder Clips are your friend, and I use lots of them. So be sure to pull out your clips. Okay, I'm gonna grab the thing that I just threw across the room, which is just needles. So we want to talk about needles. My favorite needles to sew bags are Schmetz needles. They're top stitch size 90-14. And they're just my favorite. They're my favorite needles. So put in a new needle on your machine when you're sewing your bag, because you'll be grateful later. So we have those in the shop too, if you need them. And there was one more thing. Thread. So you want to probably get thread that matches your binding fabric, like your accent fabric. You want to get thread that matches your lining fabric and thread that matches your exterior, if you care about that. Or get a contrast thread if you want your quilting to show up. There's so many ways to do it, but I think it's helpful to just have those on hand in case you want that all to match. And then the last thing that I think is my favorite thing to recommend these days, if you're into the labels, the sew-in labels, they are my new favorite. So if you can see, I have a little banana one here, and then I have my knot and thread one here. And then I have another one right here that I sewed right into the side of the bag. I'm going to come up and show you. I sold out of these ones, unfortunately, but hopefully you can find them somewhere and I'll get them back in. But this says, you can't buy this. So I love it. I love customizing the bags with those labels. They just make it so much fun. Here's the one I did for my little boy. I'll show you up close too. I gave this to my little boy for his birthday. I did the blue heart and made by mom. So I have some of those made by mom labels in the shop too. So, all right. I think that that's it. So I'm going to just come up here real quick and answer, whoa, that's really close. Answer some of your questions. Let's see. I just want to make sure I get all of them, if there are some. Let's see. Excited to make this duffel, sewing in New Harmony, Utah. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm so excited to be doing, love my duffels. Thank you. I'm so glad you've loved the duffels. I see a Heather Ross duffel in my future. The rainbow Heather Ross duffel that I did for the cover of my mini duffel is like one of my favorite ones that I've ever made. Like, it's so fun. And I just did rainbow, like picked colors and did them straight down in a row. So yes, I hope you make one. And I loved making my first one. Such a great pattern. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are all so sweet. Maybe there weren't any questions. Can't wait to get it made so I can bring it to QuiltCon. We'll be at QuiltCon too, so I hope that you'll come see us. We're actually vending. I haven't even announced it, but we're vending at QuiltCon, and I'm super excited. I'm also teaching 2 sessions of my Violet backpack, so that will be exciting as well. Okay, all right. There weren't any questions, so thank you, everybody. Please leave questions on the post on Instagram because I'll answer them there. And sign up for the newsletter. We'll get that email sent this afternoon. And let me know how I can help you. I'm super excited. So be sure to post on the Patchwork Duffle 2024 hashtag. So, or actually, forget that. The Duffle Sew-along 2024, because it's either size of the duffel you can make. So it's Duffle Sew-along 2024 hashtag. And we have an awesome sponsor, so we'll have a prize at the end of the sew-along from Heartmade Threads and Heartfully Handmade is Heartmade. I always get those two mixed up. Handmade is Heartmade. Brisha has offered a $50 gift card to our shop and a t-shirt, so that's really exciting. Would love any tips on how to make the interior fabric. So I'm not exactly sure what you mean by make the interior fabric. I recommend doing a cotton lining and a cotton binding, and if you want to do canvas, you can do a canvas interior fabric that hides the seams. Oh, the binding. Okay, we'll definitely go over the binding on the seams. The interior bias, okay? Yep. There is that. Also, if you haven't tried Bessie Pearl's binding, she has bias binding. Did you know that? And you can just buy it pre-made. It's awesome. So she has some of that bias stripe, black and white, which is so awesome. So you can definitely try that out too. So that's just a tip. Okay, I think there was something else. Joining from France tonight to be back in the States to start my bag soon. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have everybody sewing along. Last I checked, I think there were about 600 people joining us, so that's so awesome. I found it tricky to stitch binding over the layers. Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about tips next week on some of the things to help with that, but we'll definitely go over doing the bias binding. So stay tuned. We've got you covered. We want to make sure that you have all of the tips to complete your bag as successful as you can. So anyways, thank you, everybody. I hope that you have a really great day, And stay tuned for the newsletter coming later today. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll chat with you soon.